That was a great fish story, and you didn't flounder once. Next up is Mark. Mark, you here?
No one you meet comes with a warning label, but maybe some should. But if you apply some patience and get to know them, you just might find that they only hope and mean to be a force for good. Now some would say that I should come with a warning label. So let me introduce myself to you. My name is Mark Henkel, and I am intense. To use a camping metaphor, I'm so intense, I'm actually in cabins. Wait for it. Most likely you've not met someone quite like me. But that's not bragging. That's your warning label. To prepare you as you do get to know me. To give you an example, I was on a 3-day project out on the West Coast with a producer. And we were flying back and she told me that at first she found me exhausting. But she applied some patience and got to know me, and she realized that intensity, that's just Mark being Mark. That I really do truly only hope and mean to be a force for good. And this actually is a lesson for all of us whenever we meet anybody who's not like something we're used to for a personality type. And that is, we apply some patience, we get to know them, and we may find that they do only hope and mean to be a force for good. So I want to share a little bit about myself with you. You may be asking, where did that intensity all come from? It all goes back to when I was just 3 years old. I had just turned 3 and my mother wanted to teach me how to spell. So she took cereal boxes and cut up little rectangles to use the backside, the gray side, with a magic marker, and would write one word on it. And then tape these as tags to all the little different items and furniture all around the house. Then she taught me how to spell and would take me to them and have me look away to see if I could spell them. She brought me to the chair, and I could spell chair, and she got excited. She took me to the table, and I could spell table, and she got more excited. Every single new word I could spell and be a crescendo of excitement. New word, more excitement, new word, more excitement. She took me to the kitchen for this big monster word she had done just for the fun of it. And I could spell that word too. She was ecstatic. So we waited until my father got home and we did the tour again. And again, I went to the chair and I could spell chair, and the crescendo began again and he got excited. Took me to the table and I could spell table, and he got more excited. There's that crescendo coming again. Each new word I could spell, more excitement. New word, spell it, more excitement, a crescendo. Finally, for the grand finale, took me to the kitchen for the big monster word. At 3 years old, I could spell refrigerator! There was an explosion of excitement. Bang! At that moment, my ability to learn quickly and that enthusiastic excitement fused and became the intensity that has been my life ever since. I eventually got to school, got into advanced mathematics, and always won the spelling bees. At 7 years old, I could spell a word that had more letters in it than the alphabet. It had 28 letters, the word. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. The teachers were excited. The principal was excited. Everybody was so excited. But now this all led to a behavioral problem for me. Because while the rest of the class would still be trying to learn something, I'd learn it quickly, and I'd get up to my desk, get off into trouble, and start getting you unsatisfactory for my conduct. By the time I was in 5th grade, there was this tiny little veteran teacher named Miss Matthews, and she got me. She understood me. She would give me extra credit projects to keep me busy. I wrote a poem and she got it published in the local newspaper. That year there was an opportunity for the 5th grade teachers in the 13 elementary schools in that town to choose one student in the school in 5th grade for when they would go into 6th grade. They would miss 1 day a week, every week, for a special advanced educational opportunity in their 6th grade. I was disqualified because of the U, the unsatisfactory conduct grade. Miss Matthews got up in her little frame, boy was she strong. But that's why he needs to be there. He needs this extra advanced educational opportunity. And they gave her one way to solve the problem, and she did it. She slashed that U unsatisfactory to an S satisfactory conduct grade, and I was able to go to that special advanced educational opportunity in my 6th grade. That was a pivotal moment in my life. By the time I got to college, I got 2 degrees in 3 years with a 4.0 grade point average. Fellow students learned. They wanted to take a class when they knew I was taking it, because they knew I would study that material intensely and then share it with them to help them and improve their grades as well. I had learned how to use that intensity as a force for good. And that's what I've done in everything I now do. From my vocation to my application to Toastmasters, I apply that intensity and I share it to be a force for good to help others. So I know, as you get to know me, oh yeah, there are going to be times that you are going to find me exhausted. But I ask you, please have some patience. Get to know me. Because you'll learn that that's just Mark being Mark. That I do truly only hope and need to be a force for good. And then use that as a learning lesson for anybody we meet that's not like an individual we're used to. If we apply some patience and get to know them, we just may find that they only hope and need to be a force for good. And to remember that no one comes with a warning label. So to give you a memory tool to remember this lesson, remember this moment right now when you met me and learned that my name is Mark Henkel and I am intense.